Our Region's Business is sponsored by PNC for the Achiever in You. Welcome to Our Region's Business with your host, Bill Flanagan.
Today on Our Region's Business, the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra hits the road in its own hometown to develop new audiences. Plus, we'll meet a social entrepreneur who came home to our region after college to launch a nonprofit dedicated to helping kids with cancer by connecting children to champions. But first, speaking of champions, we meet a former NFL quarterback turned entrepreneur. Retired Pittsburgh Steeler Charlie Batch has gone from driving the team down the field to driving the commercialization of innovative medical technologies being developed at the University of Pittsburgh. Charlie Batch is the co-founder of Impelia. Dr. Evan Focher is Director of Enterprise Development at the University of Pittsburgh's Innovation Institute. And welcome. Good to have you both here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, Sunday morning. We're not going to talk about football. Can't believe it.
That's a rarity, but hey, I'll take it.
It's a sign of your whole new career and new life. So this is a big entrepreneurial venture.
But it got me a seat on your show.
Well, that's what it took, right?
Yes,
You've been in plenty of studios over there. Well, tell me about Impelia. What is it this company does?
We're a health, wellness, and rehabilitation technology company. And what we do, we help universities commercialize products. And we're excited to be a part of it. We're excited to partner with the University of Pittsburgh. And it's just been something that has been a long process, but we finally got to this point. We're excited about it.
I was going to ask you, how many months or years was this in the making? How did it come about in the first place?
Actually, it came about just from conversations. And my group, we were having a conversation with Audrey Russo with the Pittsburgh Tech Council. And at that point, we told her about what we wanted to do. And then she said, you want to know what? I have a great guy that I want you to meet. And she introduced us to Evan at the university. And we just started with conversations. And one thing led to another. And then all of a sudden, we were able to really go back out there and option some of their agreements. And it was just something that really, like I said, it was a long process, but we were excited about it.
So you're sitting on a lot of technology at the University of Pittsburgh that's just begging to be commercialized or rolled out?
We are. So on an average year, we do about 300 new inventions at the university.
300 inventions a year?
300 new inventions are disclosed by faculty and staff and students at the university. So the goal is, how do you take those and how do you move them from the university outside the university where they're going to have their societal benefit? So we need folks like Charlie and Impelia to help us pull those technologies from the university. There's only so much that we can do inside the university to risk reduce and move them forward. At some point, we need someone who's going to license them, get them out of the university, and get them to people where
Pitt's been doing a lot in recent years to try to streamline this process and make this happen more regularly and more forcefully, right?
Exactly. Especially even more recently with the new chancellor that just came on board in August. He has a very strong focus on how do we improve our rate of success at the University of Pittsburgh of moving technologies from the benchtop to the bedside.
Wow. So what kinds of things are you looking at? What are you going to be rolling out initially?
Well, I think one of the things, before you go there, one of the things that got me excited about it is people who followed my career throughout. I've been injured a lot, and sitting in that rehab room and going through some of the technology that we were able to be around. And it was exciting to really, at that point, see where we were at and be able to introduce that to the average person. Whether you're running a marathon, whether you're rehabbing outside, you're just coming out of the hospital and rehabbing, it was something that really was a passion of mine. And that's kind of where we, started our focus at. And there were a couple technologies that we actually optioned from the university, and I'll let Evan expand a little bit on that, but it's just something that really, for me, it hit home.
So these were things, because you had the opportunity to do your rehab in one of these facilities with all this cutting edge stuff happening, you could use it, but how do you make it more widely available? Because not everybody can come to the South Side in Pittsburgh or wherever to do this, right?
Exactly.
So
that's how it came about. So the team came to Pitt, and they basically laid out to us their areas of interest, mainly on the sports medicine and the rehabilitation sciences side, and we came up with a list of maybe about a half dozen or so technologies that we thought met what they were looking for. And at the end of the day, bringing in the investigators and spending time with the team, we narrowed it down to 3 that were the most interesting at this point in time to try to move from the university into Impelia.
So what are they out of the gate?
So there are 3 technologies. One of the technologies is called interaction, and it's a way to do more remote physical therapy. So one of the challenges in physical therapy is, once you leave the physical therapist's office, are you really doing the motions the way that you're supposed to? And this is a combination of hardware and software, where you can look at an iPad app and make sure that you're doing what you need to do appropriately. Then you can go back to the physical therapist and show them that you've done what you need to do.
And making sure that we are holding the patient accountable, because we want to make sure when they leave the rehab facility, of course you're going to do your rehab when somebody's watching you, but when you get home, are you doing it correctly?
Sure.
And making sure that we're monitoring, making sure you're getting real life feedback to make sure that we can make the corrections for you.
That's really amazing. So are there like a group of investors behind this? How then do you take this and then roll it out and turn it into an actual commercial product that I assume is going to be sold nationally eventually?
Right. And I think when you have the team that we were able to bring together, Richard Walker, who's a friend of mine, born and raised in Homestead as well, has been in the space over 15 years. We have another partner who's David Morin, who's been in the tech space as well, and Edward Kim, all of which has been in this particular space. So everyone brings a little bit of expertise to the equation. So ultimately we go out there and we find who basically find the customers and being able to go out there and make sure that we're bringing everything together, so whenever we do present this to the university, they feel totally comfortable with our team and what we bring to the table.
I mean, great that somebody wants to do this and unlock this potential. I wonder, out of those 300 a year, actually how many of them ever do see the light of day at a given year, either by being commercialized or starting a new business?
Sure. So we, on average, the university sets up between 5 and 10 new companies per year. We're trying to increase that rate. And then we do on average about 150 licenses per year to university technologies. And those aren't just technologies that were developed this year, but technologies that were developed the previous years and many years past. So at the macro level, the university is in the top 5 for all universities in the entire United States for the amount of research and development funding that goes into it. So we have about $700 million a year that comes into the university for technology development, for research. And we are doing a very good job of translating those out of the university, but we believe that we can put in place things to further increase that. And that's part of the reason why the university created this organization that I'm part of called the Innovation Institute, which is really to focus on taking those technologies and getting them out the door to people like Charlie and Impelia.
So much, but only a few seconds, Charlie, but you enjoying this new life?
I am enjoying it.
Yeah?
It really is. It's something that obviously I wanted to get into. I was around it when I was playing, and as I knew at some point I would be former a lot longer than I will be active. So it was just important for me to really be out there, build the relationships, and as I now roll into this new role, I'm excited about it. And one thing that people want to follow what we do, they actually can go to impelia.co and they can follow more of what we're doing.
Impelia.co. Exciting stuff. Great to see it happening right here in our region. Charlie Batch, Evan Fotcher from Pitt. Thank you both so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Next up, a social venture that's impacting the lives of kids with cancer by connecting children to champions. Stay with us.